Well, good morning, everyone. I hope that your week is already off to a great start. I know we're only a couple of hours into it this Monday morning. And this morning I'm going to take you to 1 Samuel chapter number 16. And, the nation of Israel desired a king. Saul is their king. He's a king like other nations. He's head and shoulders taller, better looking, just has the appearances of a king. And that's been that was their experience. But Saul was not the man they thought he would be, and so God is not pleased with him. God has chosen a new man to be king, and He wants Samuel to know who it is and to go anoint him as king. He won't become king for years, but the whole line of Saul is going to end with Saul, and none of his sons are going to succeed him. So he's picking a new line, basically, and he tells Samuel to go anoint the king. And so we're going to pick up in verse number 4, and I just want you to catch something here as we travel through these verses. And Samuel did that which the Lord spake, and came to Bethlehem, and the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, Comest thou peaceably? And he said, Peaceably. I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord. Sanctify yourselves, and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons, and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass, when they were come, that he looked on Eliab, and said, Surely the Lord's anointed is before me. But the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. And we know that as that travels through, he goes through all of Jesse's son, except for the one they didn't even think deserved to be there. And so they call him, and it's David, and David is anointed king in just a few verses. Now, he won't, like I said, he won't become king for years. In fact, I think it takes long enough for even his brothers to not really remember or think it mattered. But God says something here that is so important for us, because I think that sometimes we make decisions based on appearances. Oftentimes we make decisions based on how we feel, and we project that onto people. And because they either appear good or bad, because I felt good or bad, we make decisions about people. Obviously, Samuel had been affected by the kingly nature of those that he had seen in that role, even Saul. And so when he saw the sons of Jesse, he started making assessments about who would be the king based on the outward part of them, and based on this limited experience with them. One moment he was defining people. So Eliab, Jesse's oldest son, looked to be a king. Samuel felt like this has got to be the king. And in that one moment, he made an assessment. And God said, that is wrong. Eliab is not a good, solid man to put in this role. But David, the one after my own heart, he's the one that belongs in this role. And so I want to encourage you today, be careful with your instant assessments. Sometimes we assess people's character and we define them in one moment. And God tells us, don't define people in the moment. Let their character show. And in fact, don't define people against what we already know about them. A lot of people will define people in a moment of hurt or brokenness, and they'll put that on that person as if that's their character. Let's be really careful. Today we're going to go out into this world, and we're going to make a difference for the Lord. And one of the ways we're going to do that is we're going to define people the way God defines people, but we're going to treat them as Jesus would. And so I want to encourage you with that. Don't allow one instance to define people. Make sure that we allow God to give us the proper assessment, because otherwise we're going to hurt people. We're going to elevate the wrong people. We're going to dismiss the right people, and we're going to elevate or tell people that this person is better than that person based in a moment. And so we have to be careful. Let the Lord lead us, but always treat people the way Christ would. And I know that's going to help you have a great day.